is Lowe close to giving you what you want, or I guess what's? I think there was an expectation that him and Bennett would kind of be running 1-2 right now.
From the standpoint of understanding what we're asking to get done, he's all the way there. From the expectation of actually doing it in practice, he's not quite met that level of expectation. Just for example, making plays on the ball. I mean, you would expect now he's going into year 3. He should be competitive for the ball when the ball's in the air. He should be able to, fundamentally come up and break up a ball or ball disruption or make a physical tackle. And it's inconsistent. Whereas you watch Bennett on the other side, and he's pretty consistent. Not always great, but he's pretty consistent, and there hasn't been any fallback. So that's the difference between the two right now.
What kind of message do you think he receives when he comes out to practice, say, and Jim Morris is in his spot?
Well, I think one thing it does for all those guys is they know, and we communicate that we're going to put our best people on the field. So when they see that happen, I think that red light and that siren goes off. I better get on my game, or Coach Cooks is not going to play me. He wasn't playing. Because we've got enough versatility back there to we could piece it together to put a pretty nice secondary together. And I think that those guys know that and they see that, and that just makes them work harder.
And with Josh, what's kind of the next step for him? Where does he need to go to get himself in the mix?
Consistency. And then really for Josh, he's at level 1, just with learning everything.
Okay.
He was a scout team guy for us last year. So level 1 meaning that he's still learning how to line up, take the proper stance, take the proper eye progression in all of our defenses. And then now from there, he's got to go play based on all these, wide receivers flying at him. So he's a ways away, but he is getting better, and he's made improvement.
One guy that I don't know if I saw him out there with the 1s or the 2s, Ilar. What's he been able to do this spring? What's kind of your read on him? Probably a level 1 guy too.
Level 1 guy, same situation.
Okay.
Matthias Farley would be in that boat. Jaylen Brown's in that boat. We love those guys. Those guys are working hard. They're busting their butt. They're just, it's a matter of who's going to separate themselves. And that's just continuing to practice. The more they see, the more they learn. The more mistakes they make, the less they make. One of those deals. And that's just a progress. And some guys elevate a little bit quicker. So we're just waiting for that group to kind of separate and see who those guys are going to be for us.
How many levels do you have?
There are a lot of levels.
Okay.
There are a lot of levels.
What's Jim Morris? What's his level?
He's level 400.
Okay.
He can play and do any job that we ask him to do. Do you know what I mean? So he was Harrison Smith, and you guys think it's funny, but it's serious. It's certain guys that when you start playing this game, you start at the bottom, at the basement. And the more you know, and the more you study and learn. And train your eyes on really what the offense is trying to do, and now you start moving around and playing different positions. That takes a high football IQ to do those things.
Is it fair to say Bennett might be at level 2?
Bennett's at level 2 for sure. Yeah, Bennett's at level 2, pushing level 3. Bennett knows what we're asking to get done, and he's being competitive at doing those jobs. And now he's trying to take his game to that next level. You know what I mean?
When you talk about the level 1 players like Josh and Jaylen, do you just work them at one position, or do you work them at both boundary and the field side?
You try to work them at one position because you don't want to confuse them. You know what I mean? So let those guys get a foundation for that specific, job that you're asking them to do. And then once they grasp that, then you may be able to move them and see what else he can handle.